Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I was testing out the accuracy on this AR-15 with a 10.5-inch barrel. Okay, so this is a 5.56 barrel. It's not the 9mm that we've been talking about in the last couple of videos, right? Because I've got a couple of other guns that look just like this that are 10.5 inches but shoot 9mm. This one's 5.56. Okay, so this complete upper came from Palmetto. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I remember it was a sweet deal. That's why I jumped on it. So first I bought the complete upper, and then I went shopping for a lower receiver. So I bought it's an Anderson lower. The lower is from Anderson. A lot of people call Anderson the poverty pony. Well, it wasn't so cheap because I got this extra artwork on this lower over here. So you can see the Malone Levert over there. So to me that has extra sentimental value because my heritage is from Sparta, Greece. Okay, so that's why I really like these Malone Levert symbols. So anyway, so I put together the lower. Of course, the lower got I think when you get a lower, the FFL records it as an other. Okay, this way it can become either a pistol or a rifle. You know, and I wanted to make sure that it went in as an other because I told them that I had the intention of making this a pistol. So that's how that works out. So I put this together. Very important, linear comp over here because this thing is stupid loud, okay? You pretty much can't have an AR or your AK pistol without a linear comp on it. And even with the linear comp, it is really loud, okay? So even though this tries to divert more of the noise downrange, it's still stupid loud. Okay, so I wanted to see how accurate this would be. I remembered in the past when I first put this together, I remembered I was getting like I think a 3-inch group. I thought I had done a video on it, so I tried to reference an older video on the accuracy of this gun. I couldn't find it, so either I never did the video or I never uploaded it. So that's why we're here doing this today. So initially I was thinking about shooting this with a magnifier because I see a lot better with the magnifier because I have astigmatism. It allows me to use the focus, the rear lens, and to see a nice crisp dot. The magnifier unfortunately did not match up to this. I'd have to put a riser on it, and like, you know what, I don't feel like going through all that trouble today. So I just shot this with the dot. So important for you guys to know is when I look through the optic, okay, I don't see a clear dot at 100 yards. I was shooting this at 100 yards. I see a starburst. So the struggle here is to try to figure out where the center of the starburst is and put that in the center of the bullseye. Okay, so that's the struggle. Now, initially I checked my zero at 50 yards. Because it's a shorter barrel and the bullet's not going as fast, what I try to do is at 50 yards, I want to be about 1 inch high. Okay, so 1 inch high at 50 yards, and then usually at 100 yards, I will hit in the same place I would be hitting with an AR that had a 16-inch barrel. So usually with an AR that has a 16-inch barrel, I'm hitting 3 to 4 inches high or above the bullseye. So that's more or less where I ended up. Okay, so with a 50-yard zero, 1 inch above the bullseye. So my initial zero was like up here, right at the top of the blue, right? So that put me up here. Okay, and I, of course, after I took the shot, I adjusted a little bit over to the right. Basically 2 clicks to the right and 2 clicks down, which got me to where I wanted to be. Okay, so let's take the measurement here. So again, this is without using the magnifier, seeing a starburst, trying to figure out where. Remember, even with a dot, right? The 2 MOA dot is going to be bigger than this bullseye, right? So even with a 2 MOA dot, when you put it over it, you have to try and center it over it. So now I've got a starburst. I'm trying to figure out where the center is. Basically, I need to redo this test at some point in the future with a magnifier so I can really figure out what the true accuracy of this rifle is. But I think it's going to come pretty close to what it is because after trying to center the starburst, I got 1.75, 1 inch 3/4. Okay, and we could just round this up to a 2 MOA. Okay, that's a 2 MOA. You know, that 10.5-inch AR from Palmetto is a 2 MOA rifle. Now, because of the starburst, when I tried to repeat this, you know, I was going a little faster. I was not as good. So the second shot, and this is after I adjusted it 2 clicks to the right, 2 clicks down, going a little bit faster, I came in at 3 inches at 100 yards. Okay, so now I'm at 3 MOA. Okay, and you can see I got a nice, these two are basically an inch apart over here. So I did it one more time. And same deal, I got 3 inches, right? Again, trying to figure out where the center of the starburst is, this time going a little bit faster. So again, I got 2 shots here that are 1 inch apart. So I think this rifle has some real potential, or, sorry, not a rifle, this pistol, this AR pistol, right, has some real potential. If I put a magnifier on it, you know, I might get to 1 MOA, okay? But for now, I'm just gonna go the same thing here on my first grouping. I got 2 shots at 1 inch apart, so I'm seeing this kind of consistent. But let's just say that, let's just call this inch and 3/4. For now, let's call this a 2 MOA AR pistol, and then in the future, I'll try and do this test again. Now, if you look at my wind ribbons right over there, you can see I got some wind. So I do have a little bit of wind today. So I'm thinking that with magnifier, no wind. The wind's coming mostly in my direction. So me shooting out that way, me shooting into the wind shouldn't affect it too much, but it is a little bit of a cross, all right? So it probably did move the bullet a little bit, but I'm very happy calling this. I'm very pleasantly surprised that I got a 10.5-inch AR here that shoots 2 inches, right? Even with 3 inches. If I was getting 3 inches consistently, I would have been happy with that. Nice thing about this thing over here, very light. I mean, even with the brace, I mean, I can hold this out one-handed and keep that pretty steady. I mean, I could shoot this very comfortably. The bad thing about this, right? Because you know, these AR pistols were like the thing I was recommending to women, right? Because they're not front-handed heavy, right? So this was like the thing I was recommending to women for, and I still kind of do. Although I have found with the lighter rails, with the skeletonized rails, now you can go to a 16-inch AR, and you know, especially if you have a 16-inch barrel with a 12-inch rail, it's not that front heavy. But for a very long time, I was recommending this to women just because it's just so light. Okay, the problem with this, right? The reason why I'm kind of moving away from this now and saying, okay, go to the 16-inch barrel with the skeletonized 12-inch rail, is because it is loud. Pretty much, you have to have ear protection. Okay, and the ear protection that I was using today while shooting this, basically I pulled out new ones. Okay, not the regular ones that I use, because I really wanted to have that tight seal. And here's the thing: if I do a lot of shooting with an AR pistol, right? Let's say I'm shooting 100 rounds, I usually end up with a mild headache, because even with the earmuffs on, you're still getting that concussion wave through your body. So with enough shooting, you know, especially if you're a little older, right? You're a little bit like me, 50 years old, you're gonna feel it, okay? So that's the first thing. The gun is extremely loud. The other thing is, even with the linear comp, there's a huge muzzle flash. So what I find is, like right now, it's not night, right? You know, I mean, it's not, the sun's not out, but it's not night, and you're gonna see a huge muzzle flash. I see the muzzle flash in the glass while I'm shooting, okay? It's definitely distracting, okay? So that muzzle flash is very distracting. And if it's dark, right? By the way, snowing, right? Make sure you close your dust cover. That's why it's there. Keep the moisture out. So having shot this, or not exactly this AR, because I have other AR pistols as well, and AK pistols. Haven't shot this a bunch of nights when it was like, just getting dark, or just got, just started getting dark, or actually became dark. That muzzle flash is almost like lightning. I mean, it almost blinds you for a second. It's kind of blinding. So that's the reason why I have been moving away from recommending the AR pistols for home defense. It's still a fun gun to shoot. I love it. This is like my prettiest gun. Like, actually not my prettiest, but it's like, that's how I kind of look at this gun. Okay, this is a beautiful gun that I love. I love to look at it. Here's the honest truth: I love looking at this more than I even like shooting with it. Okay, so this is a looker. It's one of those guns that I don't expect to ever run up a very high round count on. But it's a great gun. But it's given me, having shot this gun, and like I said, I do have other ARs that other people have shot, AR pistols. And over the years that I've been watching women shoot the AR pistols, they're great because they're not front heavy, but at the same time, the loudness and the muzzle flash is kind of what makes me say, okay, you know what? Go back to the 16-inch rifle and just get that with a short skeletonized rail. So, but anyway, the whole point of this video was to figure out what the accuracy of this is, and yeah, I'm gonna call this a 2 MOA. 2 MOA pistol, right? 2 inches at 100 yards. So at some point in the future, I'll put a magnifier on it, and we'll see what kind of accuracy we can get with that. Thanks for watching. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you all soon. Hey everyone, I wanted to show you guys what the muzzle flash looks like when it's getting a little darker. Okay, so right now it's dusk. I can kind of see, but probably a couple minutes away from it being really dark. So this is like perfect where you can still kind of see me, but you can really get an idea of what the muzzle flash is like. All right, so as you can see, that muzzle flash is kind of blinding. You definitely lose sight of your target when you don't see your dot, right? Or in this case, I got a dot with a 65 MOA circle. For that split second, when the muzzle flash goes off, your dot and your circle completely wash out. Now, also equally important for me to tell you, you only see that muzzle flash on, when you're shooting rifle rounds through a pistol. In the 9mm AR, so I did a test a couple of weeks ago where I had a 10.5-inch barrel shooting 9mm. There's no muzzle flash that you can really see, right? It's just, at best, maybe you see a tiny little spark. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of really starting to consider that maybe the 9mm AR, right, might be a better choice if you have to have a short barrel, because you don't have that muzzle flash, and also it's not as loud. Okay, with the 9mm in the 10.5-inch barrel, it's at that point where I can kind of I can shoot it without earmuffs, but it's uncomfortable. With the 16-inch barrel, I can comfortably shoot it without earmuffs. Okay, it's loud, but it's still pretty you can comfortably shoot it. When you get 9mm with a 10-inch barrel, you don't enjoy shooting it without the earmuffs. Let's put it that way. You want to put the earmuffs on, but it doesn't feel like your brain is getting beat up from from both sides of your ears. Okay. However, when you're shooting the rifle rounds through a pistol, now that's really loud, right? So I got the linear comp, and I've got really tight earmuffs here, so I can shoot it comfortably. Okay, so just important. I just want to make that distinction. There's a distinction between a 10.5-inch barrel shooting 5.56 or 223 and a 10.5-inch barrel shooting 9mm. 9mm, totally different story. Very doable. With the 5.56, You know, I think that unless you're going to put a suppressor on it, and here's the thing, the part of the reason why a lot of these special ops units use suppressors is more to hide the muzzle flash than to hide the, or to try to lower the sound. They're more concerned with muzzle flash than they are with sound. In which case, you know, if you've got like a 10-inch barrel, and then you add another 4 inches of, you know, of suppressor on it to hide your muzzle flash, I'm starting to think, why not just go with a 16-inch barrel, you know? But anyway, just some ideas for you guys to think about. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you all soon.